It's the A&G podcast now, right here
That's
in Knoxville,
right.
Tennessee. And this is where we became friends.
That's right. Yeah,
Right here.
2019.
2019, you was my day one marshal.
Yeah, and I just the other night before we came here, we went to Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, and Jason Isbell took the stage. And what song did he sing but "Cover Me Up"? And I remember that day you told me about that. I didn't know he was the original.
Yep, we talked music.
Yeah.
I didn't, like, you're from the music industry, and I was like telling you all these people I loved and talking about Jason. This is when I told Leanne, I was like, me and her are going to be friends for a long time. And it's funny that this biggest show in the world brought us together. Now you're back here a couple of years later with your own podcast, killing it.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing and the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your host, coming to you from the Lance Chuck Camper Mobile Podcast Studio, Master Captain Angie Scott.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast. This is a special Bassmaster Classic edition of the show. I am on a houseboat at Volunteer Landing, right where Blastoff is going to be taking off. As I'm recording this is Thursday. Tournament starts tomorrow, so I'll be down here for Blastoff in the morning. And today is actually media day, so I'm getting ready to head over there and have the opportunity to speak with a few of the competitors this afternoon. So I'll share little snippets of my conversations with them with you. This is going to be fun. Enjoy, everyone. All right, everyone, I'm here with Carl Jocumsen at the Bassmaster Classic. Carl's qualified for his first one. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks very much. It's incredible to be here and be amongst these sort of anglers, and the whole week has just been surreal already.
Yeah, well, I've really enjoyed following your journey to get here, and I think it's super cool that you actually have some family going across the pond to get over here for this.
Yeah, there's about 30 or 40 Aussies that have flown across. There was about 20 of them at takeoff yesterday just for practice. Wow. And they've really just got me fired up. It's so cool to have the Aussies here and have their support.
That's so cool. Well, I assume they're not all staying in the Lance Truck Camper.
No, yeah, they're all they're downtown Knoxville enjoying this in city, and I'm sure they're checking out plenty of bars around downtown. They'll probably drink them out of beer, I'd say. They get up stocks.
Yeah, well, Knoxville's a good city to be in for that. So
yeah, it's super cool. We moved to Tennessee and moved to Chattanooga, so to have them all over here to see this state and sort of where we've planted some roots is really cool.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy for you. I did want to talk a little bit more about the Lance Truck Camper since, this is the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast with the mobile podcast studio. And it was all kind of inspired by you and Kayla and your journey of living in a Lance Truck Camper for a few years. So, what are some of the benefits you feel, being a touring, angler with a truck camper?
Yeah, we discovered it at the end of 2015. So we've owned, I think, 4 or 5 different Lance campers. From the littlest one, we had an old 2010 model, no slides. That's what we started with, and that's what we fell in love with. And now we have the 1172 with the 2 slides, and it's been incredible. And we've had River in there, our little 1-year-old, for the last year. And there's just so many advantages. The list is so long, but for us, we just wanted to get out of the hotel scene. We didn't like that. And even here at the Classic, we get a free room in the Marriott downtown Knoxville for this whole week. And I'm staying in the Lance out at the lake. I want to keep things how that I do on the Elite Series, and I like the staying in nature, staying next to the lake, in the conditions, and I love camping. I love having a campfire. I love being near the water, and Lance just just lets you do all of those things. You can take the truck. Kaylin and I can split the driving. We can tow the boat. And it really did change my whole career. I was almost ready to quit in 2016 because I just was not having fun jumping from cheap hotel and all of those things. And when we found the Lance, it just sparked our whole life, and we haven't looked back since.
That's awesome. Well, I've been doing some tournaments on the Women's Pro Bass Tour and getting to travel in the Lance, and I can totally relate to what you're talking about. It's just, it makes it so much more fun to just be out there, be lakeside, and, access to the water is that much easier too. So it's just been awesome all around. Well, I love that you're doing that for the Classic as well. Like you said, just kind of keeping everything like you're used to, which is great. What are you most looking forward to over the next 3 days?
Just the fishing, just experiencing it, the weigh in, the arena. Just all of those things together. This whole week, Bassmaster just really do put on an incredible show, and for all the anglers and the people, it's unbelievable how they get this done. And it's just been a dream really come true, and I haven't even got to compete yet. So tomorrow morning, it's all happening, and excited to just get fishing and excited to weigh in.
Awesome. Well, we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone, I'm here with John Cox. John, congrats on qualifying for the Classic.
Oh, thanks. I'm super thrilled to be here. I mean, it's an exciting week. It's going to, a lot of fish are going to get caught, and it's just cool to see everybody come out for this thing.
Awesome. I did see practice was a little brutal with the weather conditions.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many times, we're like, man, this is the best job in the world. I love this. And those couple days of practice will really make you question whether, you really love fishing or not.
Especially somebody from Florida.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a big change, coming from 80 something degrees to, in the 20s in the morning. Yeah, it was a big change.
Oh man, I can't imagine, but glad you guys can tough it out there and get it done, do what you need to do. I mean, this is like the Super Bowl of fishing, so
no, you don't want to quit. And I don't think I was surprised. None of us came in. We all stayed out in it, and it's just cool. Someone's going to win this thing. It's going to change your life this week.
Yeah, exciting. Well, I want to talk about the boat. So you're running the Crestliner MX-21 aluminum boat, so it's a little different. Most guys are running fiberglass boats. What have been some of the advantages for you?
I really love mine. I just love how it fishes. It's very stable. It doesn't rock. Like this week, we're going to have the camera guy in the boat and stuff. He's going to be moving around trying to catch shots, hopefully of us catching fish or not like getting hung up and trying to, but, so, I mean, it fits my style of fishing, fishing shallow and stuff. The boat doesn't move much, and it gets, back into those places a lot of the fiberglass guys won't be able to get to.
Yeah, well, I'm running the MX-19 this year. I've only fished one tournament out of it so far, but I can relate to everything you're saying. We were on Lake Palestine, and I had it in just inches of water going from tree stump to tree stump, and it was awesome. So I heard you're going to be running an MX-19 a little bit this summer.
Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to get one this summer, and I'm excited because I've been wanting to really get – I mean, I've ran one at photo shoot some and stuff, and I just think, it'd be really cool to have that boat for around the house, because my 21 usually stays on the road most of the year. So, I can't wait. I'm really excited to get that one.
They're a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm loving every minute of it. So you're sponsored by Berkley. They have a really exciting new bait out that's getting, it's just buzz right now, called the Berkley Colshat. I know you've gotten to fish it a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I mean, so even going back to, when the very first time I tested it like a year ago, I was blown away. I had my kids, we were out, I don't remember what lake we were on, but we were tubing up north somewhere. And, in between tubing trips, I was getting to skip it under some docks and around some docks. And I was just blown away how many fish I caught on it. And I was like, I was like, hey, we don't need to change anything on this thing. It's catching tons of fish. And now, everybody else, everybody's just killing them on it. It's just it's awesome bait. It's fun. It's a super fun way to catch them too.
Very cool. And when that's going to be available?
I think they're trying to push it further, like, get them out soon as possible. I've heard a bunch of rumors of, June, July, but I actually saw some in packaging already, so I got a feeling it might come a lot sooner.
Cool.
So
we'll be excited to get our hands on that.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking forward to most over the next few days?
Hopefully catching some fish. That's the main goal here. And it's cool seeing everybody out here. So, but man, I want to catch them this year. I want to do well. I always do so in the classic. Usually the weather's just like it's almost warmed up enough to where you should do really well. And this week it's warming up quick, so maybe maybe this week will go good.
Well, cool. Well, we'll be excited to follow along and see how you do, and hopefully be cheering you in at the weigh-ins.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks. I'm here at the Bassmaster Classic with G-Man, Gerald Swindle. Gerald, congrats on qualifying for the Classic.
Thank you. It's the A&G podcast now, right here
That's
in Knoxville, Tennessee. And this is where we became friends.
That's right. Yeah,
Right here.
2019.
2019, you was my day one marshal.
Yeah, and I just the other night before we came here, we went to Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, and Jason Isbell took the stage. And what song did he sing but "Cover Me Up"? And I remember that day you told me about that. I didn't know he was the original.
Yep, we talked music.
Yeah,
I didn't you're from the music industry, and I was telling all these people I loved and talking about Jason. This is when I told Leanne, I was like, me and her are going to be friends for a long time. And it's funny that this biggest show in the world brought us together. Now you're back here,
Yep.
a couple of years later with your own podcast, killing it.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, I'm
Outside the Tennessee hat, I still love you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Have to represent Knoxville.
I
you
understand.
can't not do it.
Are you going to
so.
marshal this year? Or you just
I
at
am
work?
not. Yeah, no, I didn't want to do it this year. I wanted to be a little more relaxed and be able to kind of mingle around a little bit
Right.
more. But we'll be at the convention and all that. So, but we'll be rooting for you guys
I
out
appreciate
there.
it. We'll encourage everybody to follow it. And, you always got to watch Angie's podcast. They're killing it out there. This is going to be a good week. The weather's moving around and everybody's wondering about it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really care. I don't care what the weather does. I'm going fishing Friday and I'm going to do my damn job.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
That's all we're going to do.
Put your head down and fish.
Grind. We'll turn corn into dust when it's all said and done. You've seen it. I mean, you've seen it grinding when it was good and bad. And I had some opportunities when we were here last time and I didn't capitalize on them. And I think I'm in a better place and know how to do it better this time. And we're going to make it count.
Yeah, redemption.
Redemption.
All
It is
right.
here. It's a song.
that is okay. So before we wrap up, any new artists you got tell the world about?
I tell you what, I got to following this guy named Tim Gooden, and he's from I think it's Missouri or Arkansas, just a real small time artist, and he has a song out called Pills and Poverty. And I thought the first time I heard it, I was like so intrigued. I'm like, I got to follow this guy. So I think he's one of the new breakthrough guys that you're going to see. But I'm really into Morgan's last album, and I've listened to all 36 songs. It takes 7 hours to get through it, but that guy's proven why he's probably the top country music act in the business. And Riley Green, and we talked about that when we hung out. And I was like, hey, Riley's my boy, and he has blown up.
Yes, he has.
He's blown up. There's a lot of women out there hoping to make him their husband. But Riley just wants to kill more deer, so it's going to be a tough road, ladies.
Yeah. Well, you have a great ear for music, so keep them coming.
I send you some random
you
stuff
do.
every now and then, just random. But I'm telling you,
appreciate
country music is changing, and I like to see that. I like to see because when you and I talked that day, you have a very good insight and ear for the music and the inside Nashville, and we talked about how it's a lot of it is controlled by Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what TikTok and these YouTube channels are doing is they're letting people like me and you want to hear before there's somebody come out and start being a star. And you're like, I like that music. And I was talking to a guy that Mountain Dew who actually had an agency in Nashville, and he disagreed. He said, I don't think this is good. And I said, why? And he said, because we need to tell the fans. I said, no, you got it wrong. TikTok's telling you what the people want to hear. TikTok's telling you, you just don't want to hear that. If a guy's got 45 million views on a song that he just wrote, America has spoke. They want to hear that guy. So I think it's a real dilemma between these social sites and Nashville. But Nashville is slowly losing the battle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So thanks for having me on today.
Thanks for coming on.
I'll send you some more crazy ghetto music.
Yes.
And see this guy, my camera guy right there? He can play the fiddle. He don't play the banjo. He said that's what his sister does. He could play the drums. This boy plays in bluegrass bands all over Virginia. He went and played the other night with a band that opened up for Justin Moore.
Nice.
So this guy can jam.
Very cool. Yeah, we love some blue. We listened to bluegrass on our way here the other day.
That's a bluegrass guy right there, dude. He loves the bluegrass. He's the one that really got me knee deep into Tyler Childers.
Okay. Yeah,
Tyler's. That's all from his Virginia area and the mountains, and like to watch him play bluegrass, like he can play literally anything. Now he ain't good at speaking, but he's a heck of a player.
That's awesome. We'd love to see some bluegrass while we're here too. So we'll see.
You should have brought your fiddle. Patti, speak.
We saw the live the other night, so
yeah, that's good. You guys, if y'all hadn't been tuning in to Angie's podcast, I'm telling you, she kills it. She brings a lot of great ladies on in the outdoors and shows the up and comers what it can be about, the business side of it. And you've actually chopped your way through the fishing business pretty good. You're moving up in boat deals, you're fishing a lot, and that's the key, man. You're carving your own route, and I think that's what really deep down inside the ladies and the young men need to be shown is you got to hunt and carve your own way into this. It wasn't given to you.
No,
because when you and I met, you were just pecking away at it. Yep. Now you got a boat deal and you're fishing tournaments. That's what it's all about.
Awesome.
And you got a dog that loves leaves.
Yes, she does. And she loves boats too. Yep. So that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yep. Well, we'll keep on keeping on, and we'll be rooting for you. And thanks for your time, and good luck.
Good to see you. Ashley McBride, yes. All the way.
All right, I hope you enjoyed those chats with Carl Jocumsen, John Cox, and Gerald Swindle. I was supposed to interview Jeff Gustafson. I was the very first one, but by the time I got out of lunch and got to his boat, someone was already chatting with him, so I didn't want to take the chance to delay and throw off the rest of the interviews schedules for the rest of the day. So unfortunately did not get to chat with Gussie, and obviously that would have been absolutely amazing, as I'm sure by now most of you know that he ended up winning the Classic, the first Canadian ever to pull it off. So congratulations to Jeff Gustafson, really good guy, so happy for him. He really, really deserved to win. Before I close out this episode, I wanted to share some other highlights from the rest of my 2023 Bassmaster Classic experience. Hopefully some of you were following along on my Instagram and Facebook stories. But the kickoff party was absolutely unbelievable. Johnson Outdoors, which owns Minn Kota and Humminbird, hosted this incredible drone show. I don't think any of us there have seen anything like it before. It was insane. And there was also a fireworks show that was set off to music, which was really cool. Friday morning, I got to watch Blast Off from Volunteer Landing, and I was staying on a houseboat there at the time, so that made it super convenient, and that was a lot of fun. Later that day, after the expo kicked off, I got to meet up with my friends over at Costa and try out the brand new Corbina Pros. I thought the Jose Pros were my new favorite frames until I tried out the Corbinas. They contain all of those amazing Costa Pro features that I've mentioned before on the podcast, but the Corbina frames are specifically a favorite among bass fishermen like two-time MLF champion Justin Lucas. And there's several reasons for that, but one of them is that they provide really great coverage when you're out on the water. But one of my very favorite features of these frames is that they don't get in the way of the bill of your ball cap. And I'm one of those that I kind of like a good curve to my ball caps. And I'm always wearing a hat when I'm out there fishing, especially. So really great. I think I still love my Jose Pros, but I think I got a new favorite now. So I was super excited to check those out. And this was obviously the perfect time to launch the Corbina Pros at the Bassmaster Classic and really to kick off the bass fishing season. And then I just want to say too, congrats to Gussie again, because he was also the highest place finisher in the Costa Compete and Conserve program by finishing first place in the Classic. So congrats on that. Some extra prize money and donation to some conservation efforts by Costa for that. So Saturday and Sunday, I enjoyed working with the St. Croix Rods team at the expo. And then, of course, watching the weigh-in at the arena on Championship Sunday. That was a huge highlight. Congrats to John Cox as well, as he was one of the Super Six that made it to the final Championship Sunday. Unfortunately, Carl Jocumsen and G-Man did not make the top 25 cut to fish Championship Sunday, so they got to head over to the expo and meet some of the fans that day. But you know what? They're gonna get after it again next year. I have no doubt both of them will be returning to the Classic, which is gonna be in Oklahoma next year, so different venue. If any of you have the chance to ever make it to a Bassmaster Classic, the expo is completely free, open to the public, so are the weigh-ins. So it's not like you have to have certain access to be able to go to this stuff. It's amazing to see. If you've never done it, you got to do it at least once in your life just to experience it in person. Bass does an amazing job, and they pull at all the stops. I mean, it's an amazing, entertaining show. So definitely highly recommend checking that out next year or whenever you can down the road. So that's just a quick wrap up in a nutshell. I've got tournaments coming up here in the new Crestliner MX-19. And oh, by the way, while we were in Knoxville for the Classic, we dropped the boat off at Graphic Creations there downtown Knoxville to get the wrap installed and picked it up on our way home. So be looking for some photos to come out on that soon. It's going to be pretty cool. It matches the camper. So once we get all that together, I'm going to share that with you guys. And I think you're really going to like it. Should be a pretty good head turner when we're going down the road, traveling all across the country in the Lance Truck Camper Mobile Podcast Studio with the Crestliner MX-19, fishing tournaments, and all of that fun stuff. So we'll be back next week with another episode with an amazing outdoors woman who's making a positive impact on water quality with a really unique invention. It's actually probably going to blow your mind. So you definitely don't want to miss next week's episode, and more surprises to come. So stay tuned, and thanks as always for listening.